Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ryan Ruff with SwiftDials.com. Today I'm going to teach you how to create an app like Uber from start to finish. My motto is learn by watching me code. So welcome to Swift Dials and welcome to this free email video series. Hope you enjoy it. We're going to be making an app like Uber. In this first video, we're just going to connect to parse so that we'll have a way to start saving our data to configure our app. So let's get started. First, we're going to go into Xcode and create a project, and we're going to call this project Ober. Instead of Uber, we're going to call it Ober with an O. So I'm going to go File, New, and then Project. We're going to use the single view application, and then right here we're going to name it Ober. We're going to leave it as a universal app. We're using the language Swift, and we don't need core data just yet. We're not going to include unit test or UI test. So click Next, and then just pick where you want to save the app at. Alright, so now we have our Ober app right here, and let's get it ready for parse. So first what we're going to do is let's make a group right here, a new group, and call this frameworks, because this is where we're going to drop our frameworks, and I'm going to move it down here. Now let's head over to parse. If not, create a parse account at parse.com. I've already created an account and signed in, so I'm just going to go to my apps on parse, and in the dashboard we're going to create the new Ober app. If it doesn't take all day to pop up. Alright, here we go. So we're going to go to create a new app, and we're going to call it Ober. And let's hit create. Alright, now we have the app created, and we have to grab some IDs to put in Xcode to connect the app to parse. So we're going to go to Quick Start. Click Quick Start. Alright, we're going to click Data, Mobile, iOS, and we're using Swift, and click Existing Project. Now right here is where you can download the Parse SDK. You're going to need that. I've already downloaded it, so I'm going to give you a second to click this and download it. It's going to come right here into your downloads folder. It's going to be called Parse Library. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up Xcode. We're going to go to our downloads folder and click on Parse Library. And then when this comes up, we're going to grab bolts and parse, and we're going to drag that right into frameworks. Okay, so here, destination, click copy items if needed, and click on finish. So now we have the bolts framework and the parse framework. So from here, we're going to go in and add some dependencies, which you will see right here. When you scroll down, it's going to show you all of these dependencies that need to be added into the app as well. So we're going to go back to Xcode. We're going to go click on our app Ober up here, and then we're going to get this screen, and we're going to go to Build Phases. And then from Build Phases, we're going to go to Link Binary with Libraries, and then hit the plus sign, and from here we can start adding them. So we're going to need the audio toolbox, which is right here, and then I'm going to hold the command button down so that I can select multiples at a time. The CF network framework, let's see, we need core graphics, we're going to need core location, Quats core location, and let's go down to Quats core. Let's see. It's gonna be. It should have been. Let's see. There we go. Quats core. let's see, we need security and store kit. So let's see, we're gonna come down here to security, store kit, system configuration, and then let's add these, and we'll add 2 more. So once we get that, we got that in our frameworks, we're gonna come back, we're gonna do a search for libs, libz, and we're gonna select this one right here, libs.tbd. We're gonna add this one in, and we're gonna do it one more time, and we're gonna search for lib because we need libsqlite, and that's gonna be, let's see, let's do search sqlite3.tbd. Let's add that. All right, perfect. We now have all of the frameworks that we need. So we're gonna go back to parse. I'm gonna scroll down, and we need to import parse and import boats into our app delegate. So let's do that, and that's just gonna allow the app delegate to use the parse and boats framework. So we're gonna come to the top right under UI kit, and we're gonna import parse, import boats. And then once we do that, we need to come down into application, did finish launching with options. And here's where we're going to add the code to initialize parse with our IDs. So let's come back in here, and we're going to grab initialize parse right here. We're going to grab this code, which is going to give our IDs. And we're going to pop that right into here. Okay, so now we've initialized parse. Now we can run a test to see if everything's working. So we're going to head over to the view controller.swift. In the view controller, we're going to go into the view did load function. And in this function is where we're going to run the code to connect, to add something into parse, to save some data. So we're going to come back in, and we're going to scroll down. First, we actually need to import parse into the view controller. So let's do that. You can easily forget that. All right, so now we have parse imported, and let's hop back over to parse, and we're gonna copy this code right here, which is gonna create a PF object with the class name of test object, and then it's gonna create the variable, and then it's going to save in the background, and you will get a log to the Xcode log of when the object has been actually saved. And since we're using Swift 2, we're going to have to change print ln to just print. So let's copy this code over and paste it in right here, and let's take off this ln. So we should be good to go. Now we can run our app, and we should see foo and bar added into parse. So let's test the connection. Waiting for it to build. It's going to be a really cool app. I'm excited to have you guys on board. Alright, so I have my simulator up, and look, the object has been saved. This is what gets run in the background. The object has been saved. So let's go head over to parse, and scroll back up. Let's actually go to our parse apps, and then we're going to come down here and click on core for the Ober app. Not sure why it's running so slow, but here we go. Alright, now you can see that our class has been created, test object, and bar has been added as a string. So we should be good to go. We're all connected to parse, and in the next video we're going to be going over creating the Ober user login. So I hope to see you there. What's going on? What I would like you to do is either download the Ober app or open up the Ober app, and when you get to the first screen, you'll see this nice video background. That's what we're going to create today in Xcode. So let's just jump right in and get started. First, I want to show you the video that I created. I pulled it from YouTube, and then I just did some editing on it, so it's not like perfect. I just want you to see it just so you'll understand when you see it in the app what's going on. So right here in the video, there's some text. It says click to exit full screen. So just know that that's in the video and it's playing on the iPhone. So I'm just gonna run through the video real quick. You'll see it. It's just a car going through, driving up the street. And when we get to the end of the video, you're gonna see a black screen. So when you see that in the app, that's not an error or it's not like a glitch. It just goes to the black screen, and then you saw my mouse moving on the screen. All right, so in a later video, I'll show you. Maybe I'll edit all of that out and just have the car driving on the screen. Maybe I'll add that in. But let's get started on coding. So what we're gonna do is first, actually, let's go back here and let's drag in our intro video. So we're gonna put that in here, and then we're gonna say copy item if needed, and then we're gonna click finish. All right, so now we have the video in our app. We're not gonna work with that just yet, but first what we're gonna do is we're gonna import AVKit, and we're gonna import AV Foundation. All right, so now that we have those imported, what we're going to do is come over to main storyboard, and we're going to add an IB outlet to our view. So let me get more space right here so that you can see what's going on. Let's double click this and move this right here. All right. So we're going to click on this icon to bring up the code, and we're going to just click on view, and we're going to click we're gonna hold control and then click and drag right here, and this is gonna be an outlet, and we're just gonna call this video view with camel case. All right, so let's connect that. That'll give us access to this view right here. Let me get this. Let's see, it's right here. So we have an IB outlet, which is a variable to our view right here, which is a UI view. Okay, so let's get back in here, and the view is this actual white portion of the screen right here. All right, so let's jump back into our view controller.swift and start coding. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna create a function, and this is where we're gonna set up everything with the view. So function setup view. All right, so first what we're going to do is we're going to create an NSURL, which is going to basically give us the path, and then we'll be able to pass that path in to the AV player, because the AV player takes a parameter, which is a URL. Okay, so what we're going to do first is create our path. So we're going to go let path equal NSURL file with path. And then we're gonna go nsBundle.mainBundle.path for resource, and then right here we're gonna give it the name intro video because that's the title. That's what we have the file named. And then we're gonna give it a string MOV because it's a MOV file. And then we're gonna unwrap it and then close it off. All right, now we're gonna go let player equal AVPlayer, and then we're gonna pass in that NSURL that we created above, which is path. Okay, so now we have now we gave the player the path to the video. So now we're gonna have to display this video. So we're gonna create an AVPlayer layer. So we're gonna go let new layer equal AVPlayer layer, and then we're gonna set the player to player. All right, and then we're gonna set the frame new layer dot frame equals self dot video view, which is that outlet we created, dot frame. And then from here we are going to add the sub layer. So we're gonna add the new layer as a sub layer to video view. So we're gonna access video view's layer property. So self.videoview.layer.add sub layer, and then we're gonna pass in the new layer. Okay. So now that we have that, we're gonna set it to size properly in that view. So we're gonna go new layer dot video gravity equals AV layer video gravity resize aspect fill. That's what we're looking for. And then we're gonna come here and we're gonna go player.play. So we're telling the player that we wanted to play, and then actually we'll stop here and then I'll show you what else we're gonna do after this. But we need to jump up to view did load and allow this function to run when the app runs. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna go self.setup view, and that's gonna run. So let's test this out and see how this works. It's pretty straightforward and simple once you get the hang of it. Alright, so there it is. We have our video and it's playing the screen, and let's see what happens. It's looking really good. Alright, that's that black screen I told you about that was actually in my video. So that's it. The video just plays to the end and then it stops. If you look at the if you look at the Uber app, I'm calling it Ober. If you look at the Uber app, you will notice that the video loops, and then it just keeps playing over and over. So we want that effect. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna set it up so that it'll loop and keep playing. So let's do that. So we're gonna come back down to setup view, and after we play the video, we're gonna set the action at item N to none. So it's not gonna do anything yet. So we're gonna go player.action at item N equals AVPlayer action at item N dot none. All right, so that's when we know the video is ending. And then what we're gonna do next is create an NS notification, and that is gonna let us know that this video is ended here and that we need to run a function to loop the video. So let's do that. We're gonna go NS notification center dot default center dot add observer, and we're gonna add the observer as self. And then the selector is going to be, well, let's just give it a name called video did play to end. So that's what's going to have to be the name of the function. And don't forget, just remember to put that colon right there, because you need that colon, because that lets it know that the function's going to take a parameter. So now right here, this has to be exact. The name is going to be AV, make sure you spell this out right, AVPlayer item did play to end time notification. So that's going to be AVPlayer item did play to end time notification. And then for the object, we're going to pass the player's current item, which is the current item playing. So now that we have the notification set up, we're going to come down here and we're going to set up a function. Well, we're going to actually set up the selector pretty much. So we're going to go function video did play to end, and then we're going to call this notification. Alright, so in this function, we are going to let player AVPlayer item. We're setting this as an AVPlayer item because the current item right here is an AVPlayer item. Let me show you. When you're putting this in, you'll see that it's an AVPlayer item. So we're gonna set this player down here at in the loop function selector to AVPlayer item, and then we're gonna let it equal notification, which is right here, which is getting passed from here. So we're gonna let it equal notification dot object. So we're getting the object that we passed, which is this object right here, and then we're gonna say as AVPlayer item, and then right here we're gonna go player dot seek to time, and then it's KCM time 0. Alright, so what that's going to do is pretty much rewind the video back to 0 and then play it again. So, let's play this out and see what happens. Alright, the video started, it's playing. There we go, it looped. So the video started back up and it's playing. Alright, so now we have the video background that we want. So next, in the Ober app, you have that nice text across the middle of the screen that says Ober. So we're going to create our Ober text and put that directly in the middle of the screen over the video. So let's begin with that. So let's get in. We have to create another function for this. Alright, so we're going to call this function Ober text centered, and we're going to pass in a container view. We're going to call it the container view. Basically, it's just a UI view, and it's going to be the video view that we pass in. So let me show you how this works. So we're going to go function Ober text centered container view. It's going to be a UI view. And then basically all we're going to do is create a label and then just set the properties for the label. So what I want to do here is I want to go let half is a CG float equal 1.0 divided by 2.0, and this is so that we can get the center of the screen and just use a variable or a constant. Okay, so now we're gonna go let Ober label equal UI label, and this is gonna initialize and create a label. So let's set the text Ober label.text equals Ober. We're gonna set the font Ober label.font equals UI font. Spell font. Yes. Alright, so the font name is gonna be Apple color emoji. This is just a font I came up with. It's not the actual font. Alright, so we're gonna go 120, and then we're gonna set the background color to clear. Because we don't want a background color on the label. Okay, so let's see. We got the background color set up, And next we're gonna set OberLabel that we're gonna set the text color. So we're gonna go OberLabel.text color equals UI color.white color. And then we're going to say that we want to use size to fit. This is a function that will fit the label to the size that we specified here, so we don't have to really set the width. Okay, so next let's just use text alignment. Alright, now we're going to set the X and the Y axis so that we can actually center the text in the middle of the view. So we're going to go Oberlay, I keep putting Ober, OberLabel.frame.origin.x equals, this is where we're going to use that container view because we're going to pass in the video view. So container view .frame.size.width minus OberLabel.frame.size.width, and then we're gonna go times half, and it's saying it has an error. So let's go back up here, and I have a capital L here, so let's just make that lowercase. There's gonna be a CG float. So we're gonna go OberLabel.frame.size, and I spelled width wrong. So we want the width to be multiplied by half. So that's gonna put it in the center, and then let's OberLabel.frame.origin.y equals container view.frame.size.height minus OberLabel.frame.size.height. Then we're going to multiply that by half. And then right here we're going to go container view.add subview. And then we're going to pass in the label right here. So now we need to run this function, and we're going to run that function in setup view right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it right before the player, and we're going to say self.Ober text center. We're going to run the function right here. So this is the function, and it's looking for a view. So what view are we going to put the text on? And that is going to be the video view. So when I run this application, we should have Ober. We should have the text Ober in the center of the screen over the video, and it should be white. So let's run that and see what we got. Perfect. So we have our text centered in the middle of the screen. Ober. Starting to look just like the Uber app. Alright, so the next video that I make, I might add it on to this one. We'll see, but the next video is going to be adding the 2 buttons at the bottom of the screen right here for the sign up and the login. So that's going to actually complete the intro screen of the app, and then we can get into creating the login views and the register view to actually sign up and start using the app like Uber. Alright guys, you've come to the end of the first part of the Uber videos. Well, Ober, shall I say. So there's a button below. Click the button below and enter your email address in so that I can send you part 2, 3, and 4 of the email series.